structure equals discipline, which then equals consistency, which then equals momentum, all right?
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy J.O. Cut, back today with another video. And man, if y'all boys clicked on this video, it's pretty simple. Right? It means y'all boys is ready to get an athletic, lean physique, right? You ready to look in the mirror, see something you like, you ready to change what you see in the mirror, right? This video gonna be probably around 35 minutes, all right? So what that means is, all right, I need y'all boys to stay locked in. I need y'all to understand that I'm giving y'all the actual methods I used to take my physique from, you know, I was a strong guy. I was somebody who was working out. I was somebody who was playing football. I was active, right? But my physique, I mean, it wasn't impressive, right? Some people probably still say I was fat, I was chubby, right? So if you are somebody who's in a similar situation, or you're somebody who's simply just not really liking what you see in the mirror, you want to have a more aesthetic physique, a more athletic physique, a more appealing physique, right? Just lose weight, be more lean, see your six-pack popping, all right? Pay attention in this video, all right? And as y'all gonna see, I'm gonna tell y'all boys, take notes, all right? Because one of the most important things and one of the most, I think, things that's holding people back from getting that physique that they want, from just losing the weight they want or gaining the muscle they want, is literally because it's so many content creators out here. It's so many people making videos. And not to say that a lot of the stuff that they telling y'all is wrong. It's just that a lot of stuff contradicts each other, right? I'm not saying that if you go watch another video, his method won't work. What I'm saying is you probably can't pair his method with my method, right? So if you clicked on this video and you had God led you to this video and we are here and we seen each other, write this down and do this long term, right? And if you need any help, just lock in with me at J.O. Cut IG and I will help you along your journey. But other than that, y'all, I'm gonna let y'all get to the video. I'm giving y'all all the sauce, everything it took for me to literally go from mediocre physique to now every time people see me, they, you know what I'm saying, it's a conversation about fitness or my physique or how I look, all right? And yeah, I'm giving y'all everything. Look, we here, we editing. I got everything going on right here. So I'm gonna let y'all boys go ahead to this video. I hope y'all got y'all something to drink, a little water to drink, cause a little hint is gonna be about a lot of things dealing with water and hydration, right? Get some water, get your little pen and notepad out, pay attention for about 35 minutes. That's all I ask. And I promise you it's going to pay dividends for you in the future, all right? Let's get to it.
Before I get into this, all right, I just wanna say, make sure that you have a pen and paper, that you're going through your iPhone notes, that you're doing everything you can to make sure that this information is consumed, right? Because, I'm gonna be honest, if you're watching this video, if you clicked on this video, it's because, right, you're trying to figure out how you can have an athletic, lean physique, all right? You're either in a couple of categories. You're either in one category, you don't like what you see in the mirror, right, at all. You're trying to figure out how to train. You're trying to figure out how can I get a physique that I like? How can I get my dream physique? How can I build muscle? How can I lose fat, right? Or you either understand how to train, you've been training for a while and you're still just trying to figure out how can you bridge the gap to have a better physique. Either way, watching numerous videos is not gonna get it, all right? You're gonna have to find someone who has done it and you're gonna have to pick it and you're gonna have to do it, all right? Doing it is how you're gonna get it, all right? Not watching numerous videos. So take notes, take heed to what I'm about to tell y'all, and let's get into the video so y'all boys can get this physique that y'all want, all right? So let's stop watching all these videos. Let's get to it, all right? Now, before we get into everything, we need to write at the top what we want, all right? What we want and what we're trying to reach is an athletic, lean physique. Now, that's up there. That can be in a whole lot of things, right? An athletic, lean physique, some people can say just lean physique. Some people could say a muscular physique. Some people could say jacked, right? Some people call it, it's so many other names for what people like to call this, right? This is what I call it, an athletic, lean physique, right? You feel me? I've been sick, but my six-pack is still kind of there a little bit. That's what we want. That's what we want to get to, right? There's three major categories to make this happen, all right? We're going to get into the first one right now, okay? I have a major protocol that I use in my CFT program, all right? CFT, that's Three words I want you guys to remember: CFT. What does that mean? It really don't matter. Just remember that because you're gonna hear about it again. But anyways, let's get into the video, all right? All right, now, when it comes to the first major category in making sure that you can reach this athletic lean physique, right? It's gonna be dieting, right? Now, once I get into dieting, I'm gonna write this diet. I'm gonna write that right here. You have so many different people on Instagram, so many different people on YouTube, so many different people all over the world telling you guys there is numerous ways to get this done, but I'm here to tell you the no bullshit way of how to get this done, all right? I'm gonna be honest with you. When it was me trying to go from looking like this to looking like this, hopefully I got these on the screen right now and I'm not looking stupid. There's one major protocol that I followed over time that made it easy, that made it simple, but that made me see progress like no other, all right? Literally, I tell you, I followed this for maybe 3 months, and I literally went to the mirror, I raised my shirt up, and I started doing some of these, and I said, oh, there's abs right there. What the fuck, right? So that's literally what I follow, and I'm gonna tell you what this is called. It's called the water method, okay? So we're gonna spell this out, W-A-T-E-R. Yes, it's an acronym, all right? This is what I want you guys to remember because this is what's gonna be able to help you guys to lose this weight, all right? To lose the weight and to build the lean physique. I'm gonna tell you what all these mean. W stands for water. 1 gallon a day, all right? 1 gallon a day. If you're drinking 1 gallon of water a day, chances are you're not drinking too much of other bullshit, all right? You literally don't need to drink any other thing. You don't need calories coming from anything else, all right? Water only, all right? That leads us to the next point. What does the A stand for, Gio? Happy you asked. It stands for avoid liquids, liquid sugars, comma, fried foods, comma, cookies, cakes, candies. All right, now I could have maybe said just avoid any type of carbohydrates, right, that are unhealthy, right? But I want to spell it out for you, all right? Because this made it really simple for me, all right? Avoid cookies, cake, candies, fried foods, and avoid liquid sugars, all right? When I say liquid sugars, I mean cold drink. I mean frappes from Starbucks, 7 Brew, Powerade, really, unless you're training really hard, you're out there in the sunlight, you're sweating like hell. No, you don't even need Powerade and body armor. All you need to drink is water, all right? And that's why I'm asking for 1 gallon a day, because if you're drinking 1 gallon of water a day, you don't really have that much space for any of the others, all right? What a lot of people don't know is that you gain a lot of weight from the liquids that you're drinking, all right? Cold drinks that you're drinking, all right? Your juices, the sweet juice that you're drinking, the frappes, the frappuccino, all that stuff that you're drinking, you think that's not gonna really count to you, but that's really what's making you fat. And it's processed sugars, which means it's hitting really quick because you're drinking it. Stay away from that, all right? Drinking only water is gonna help you a lot. To this day, I really only drink water to this day, literally. Now, I'll be honest, once you get your body and you get close to your dream body, you can go away from this for a little while. Long as you understand this water protocol and this CFT method, which is the water method, you can always go back to it to shapeshift, all right? That's why I call myself a shapeshifter, because sometimes I may go off my diet, but I still have this body, right? But say that I lose a couple pounds or I gain too many pounds and I lose a 6-pack. I implement this right back into it, and we're good, all right? So avoid liquid sugars, right? Or should I say sugary drinks, right? Fried foods, cookies, cakes, candies, pastries, Pop-Tarts, all of that. Just leave it alone for a little while. Not forever, because once again, get the physique, you'll be able to revisit it a little bit. You'll be able to revisit Raising Cane's for a little while, all right? You'll be able to eat what you want for a little while, all right? Literally. You'll be able to eat whatever you want. I'm gonna be honest, all right? Once you get the body, you can eat whatever you want, all right? As long as you understand and are disciplined enough to be able to return to this to make sure that your ass don't get fat again, all right? Now, the T, all right? The T stands for train at least 3 to 5 times a week, all right? I've trained every day of the goddamn week before, all right? I'm not gonna be someone who sits here and says, right, it has to be 3 to 5 times. But if you want me to be honest with you, all right, if you're training correctly, you don't have to train more than 5 times a week, all right? At some point, you're literally just ruining recovery, which is actually worse than training more, all right? But if you're training less than 3 times a week, you gotta pick it up a little bit more. I will say that, okay? But if you're training anywhere 3 to 5 times a week and it's quality and you're doing the right training methods, right? For me and my clients, I like to say, listen, we're doing half hypertrophy training, half athletic training, right? For instance, if any of you guys know, we wanna be able to bench and squat 405. I said, bench, we wanna be able to squat 405, but we also wanna be able to run a 4.5. 40-yard dash, right? That's an athletic term, okay? That's something that athletes do, right? In the combine, right? Running a 4.5. If you can squat 4.5 and run a 4.5, you are functionally athletic, right? You look and you are athletically the part. We don't want to just look it, we want to actually be it, right? That's why, once again, what we're building is an athletic lean physique. Not just a lean physique, but an athletic lean physique. I should put functionally athletic lean physique up there, all right? The worst thing you can do in the world is look like you're strong, look like you're athletic, and not be athletic, all right? Look at Larry Wills, all right? He's big, he looks the part, he's strong as shit, right? But he's not athletic, all right? You want to be able to have the muscle, you want to have the foundation of strength, but you want to also be explosive, all right? That's what's gonna make you dangerous. That's what's gonna make you feel, all right, like a man, all right? That's what's gonna make you feel dangerous, okay? So that's what we're trying to build here, all right? So train at least 3 to 5 times a week, but make sure that when you're training the right things, you're training in the right way, all right? I have to make a whole nother video on that, right? But this is once again a part of the water method, okay? What does the E stand for, J.O.? I'm happy you asked, all right? The E stands for eat 0.7 to 1 g protein, all right, per pound of your body weight, all right? We just gonna put a weight, okay? Because I don't know how much you guys can see. It looks like y'all can see everything, but that's what we got here, okay? Eat 0.7 to 1 gram protein per pound of body weight. We've all heard this before, okay? I'm not giving you guys a strict structured diet, right? I'm not giving you guys a full nutrition plan, right? Very rare I have clients coming to my CFT Elite program who need full nutrition programs, right? Very rare. Some do, and I give it to them. But most, all they gotta do is follow this water method, right? This water method is literally all you need, right? You're eliminating the foods that is making you fat and not giving you any type of fuel for your workout. You're going water, right? 1 gallon of water, right? You're training correctly, and you're eating enough protein. If you're eating, right, 0.7 to a gram of protein per body weight, you're gonna be full. You're gonna be full off protein. You're not gonna have as much time to eat as much as anything else, I'm gonna be honest. So if you're reaching this threshold while drinking this gallon of water, while training correctly and breaking down the muscles correctly, you're already over halfway there. And you're avoiding these foods, you're already over halfway there, okay? You're already doing most of the things right, okay? So I don't have to sit here and tell you, hey, eat this, eat this, eat this. No, I'm just telling you what not to eat. Stay away from this. Make sure you're eating this much protein. And the R stands for repeat. This is the water method, all right? Save this, all right, if you want to get an athletic and lean physique, quick and easy, without having to follow all of these other scams that you see online. You see so many different people telling you, eat this, try this workout plan, try this nutrition plan, try this biohacking. None of that matters, all right? This is coming from me. This is literally what I did. I took what I found online. I said, oh, what makes sense? All right? I had been lifting weights a long time, right? I had been strong, all right? I implemented this at a point in my life. I had already been, I was maybe what, 17 years old. I had squatted 500, benching over 315. I was already running probably a 4.6. Like I was already athletic, I was already explosive. I just didn't look it. I didn't have that physique. I didn't have the six pack, right? I was already strong, I had muscles. How can I get my physique to the next level? So yes, if you're somebody who's already in the gym, you're already hitting it hard, you already understand how to train, this will take you to the next level. And if you're someone who doesn't know what you're doing, this will damn sure take you to the next level, all right? Recount this before we erase it off the screen. What this is the water method, all right? I call it the water protocol, CFT Elite. Remember that, okay? Water, 1 gallon a day. The A stands for avoid liquid sugars, fried foods, cookies, cakes, candies, all right? T stands for train at least 3 to 5 times a week. E stands for eat 0.7 to a gram of protein per pound of body weight. And the R stands for repeat, all right? It's as simple as that. Write it down in your notes and start following it today. Not tomorrow, start following it today, all right? And you're gonna see your physique start to change quicker than you can realize, all right? You're gonna wake up one day, you're gonna look in the mirror, all right? You're gonna look at your stomach, and you're gonna see some six-pack forming. Once you do that, I want you to go, and I want you to make a video and say, listen, J.O. Cut changed my life. All right, his water method changed my life. Once that happens, please go and do that, because then you're gonna be helping me out. I help you out, you help me out. All right, fair deal, okay? Now let's get into the next major category of building an athletic lean physique, all right? We're gonna erase all this and we're gonna use somebody's pillow here. Hopefully they wasn't gonna be sleeping on this. But if they were, fuck it, all right? Yeah, all right, here we go. Next up, what we got? Is we got the training. Now, this should be the fun part, all right? Hopefully, if you clicked on this video, you think training is fun. I think training is fun, all right? Most people think the dieting is the boring part, right? And that's why I had to create a whole framework for it, all right? The training part is fun because there's so many different ways to train, all right? Chances are that if you clicked on this video, you're probably training wrong as well, all right? This is not gonna be a gym bro split. This is not gonna be your push-pull leg split. This is not gonna be any of that, all right? First thing first, I wanna let you know that in terms of reaching a better physique, most training will work. You just gotta stick to it, all right? But if you wanna reach an athletic physique, right, that works, a functional athletic physique, push-pull legs and gym bro splits is not gonna get you there, all right? We're not just doing this all day and thinking that we're gonna be able to be functionally strong, functionally athletic, functionally explosive, right? The goal is to be strong and fast, strong and powerful, not just strength, all right? We don't want just old man strength and we can't move, right? Because you have a disadvantage if you run across somebody like me. I'm gonna be honest, because I can do both, all right? So this is what I call it, right? All we're doing is we're just mixing it. I call it hybrid training, all right? You got training, we call it the hybrid training approach, right? All right? Excuse me if I'm spelling anything wrong. It's cold as hell in here and I'm still coming off having a flu, all right? That's why I'm messing with my nose. There's no other reason why I'm messing with my nose. Now, hybrid training approach. What does that consist of, all right? Exactly what it sounds like, all right? We're not just doing bodybuilding-ish workouts, all right? We're gonna combine bodybuilding-ish workouts, right, with functional athletic training, functional athletic workouts as well, all right? That's what's gonna consist of the training, all right? So we're gonna be building muscle, hypertrophy, and combining that with functional athletic training, all right? To make a great combination, all right? We're not just in there every day just doing this, all right? So the best way I can put it for you guys is this, okay? So instead of just going every day and doing, right, a back squat, all right, on a leg day, we'll do a back squat, but we'd also do a sled push, all right? Hope this is kind of making sense, all right? Instead of just tricep push downs, we also do dips, all right? Now these are just two anomaly examples, all right, for what that would kind of look like in a training program, all right? Every day, every workout, every muscle, we're gonna train it for hypertrophy, for muscle growth, for strength, for actual foundation, right? Strength is our foundation, strength is our base to be explosive. You can't be explosive, you can't be powerful without having strength first. But strength is not the only thing we're going for. We're going for explosion, we're going for speed, functionality, all right? You wanna be able to be somebody who can actually move the weight, all right, but move yourself too, all right? You don't want to be big and walking around here with all this mass and you basically still fat. What is the purpose of putting in all this work and you're basically still fat? Like, you see what I'm saying? So you want to be able to do the right things. You want to be able to lift weights in this manner, but you want it to be able to translate to this manner, right? So yeah, we do back squats, and I'm not against back squats. I think back squats is something that builds functional training as well, but not as much as something like sled pushes, right? They both work the glutes, they both work the quads, but sled pushes is a more functional training exercise than back squats, if you ask me, okay? So this is an example, all right? So with the hybrid training approach, all right, I call it a one-to-one philosophy that we train, all right? So for every one-to-one philosophy, so for every one time we train, we're gonna just put here, one time hypertrophy, which y'all, I mean, that just means, when I put hypertrophy here, it's muscle growth, but all these things will technically lead to hypertrophy. But when I'm putting hypertrophy, I mean really just hypertrophy. So I mean bodybuilding-ish workouts, curls, just strict curls, tricep push downs, lat pull downs, stuff like that, right? So for every one-time hypertrophy workout we do, we're gonna also do a functional workout, okay? For whatever that muscle may be, all right? So with your training, let's kind of go through what we have, all right? 3 to 5 times a week, We're going for a hybrid training approach. And for every muscle that we train hypertrophy on, we're gonna also train it functionally, all right? We're gonna build the base through strength and power, through strength. And we're gonna translate it through power, functionally, all right? Simple as that, all right? We want big muscles, we want strong muscles, but we want them to work, okay? That is the training approach. It's simple as that. If you want to get in more details with the full training regimen that we're doing, you have to hit me up at JLCut on Instagram, all right? I can't give you guys everything. I can't give you guys all the tips right here, but I can kind of give you guys the mindset of how we got to it. Speaking of mindset, that leads us to our third category. All right, last but not least, the last category, and probably the most important category with all these things, and that's mindset, okay? We're gonna put mental up here, all right? Now, when it goes, and we talk about the word mental, when we talk about what mental means, what mindset means, there's a lot of different words, there's a lot of different things that come to mind. And so I'm just gonna write a few of them out, all right? So when I think about mental, and it comes to building a physique like this, things that come up are consistency, I think of motivation, I think of drive, I think of, I don't know, you blur some words out to me. What do you think of when you think of the mindset it takes to build a physique like this, huh? What do you think of? All right, let me stop lifting my shirt, but what do you think of? Yeah, exactly, you don't know, all right? Consistency, motivation, drive, I think of momentum. I guess that's not really a mindset, but with consistency and motivation and all of these things, over time, they lead to momentum. We'll put it like that, all right? Now, the only thing is to get consistency, it means you have to do things over and over and over again, right? Which is easier said than done. A lot of you guys clicked on this video, it's not because you can't go to the gym one time and finish a hard workout. It's not because you can't do the water method or you can't do diets, right? One time, or maybe even for a week, right? It's because over time, it gets hard, right? Over time, it gets harder and harder to stay with it. As life starts to kick your ass, right? You may have a flat tire. Your girlfriend may break up with you. It could be anything, but as life starts to set in, it becomes harder and harder to get these things done, right? And that's where this gets canceled out. Your motivation starts to leave, all right? Your drive starts to fade, all right? Which makes consistency hard to do, all right? Which kills momentum. So how can you be able to build momentum, how can you be able to build momentum which will be able to keep you going, right? Momentum for me in the gym was when I first started to see that I was having a transformation, right? When I was seeing progress pictures, I'm starting to see some abs come in. There's no better feeling than that because I know that what I'm doing is working. So why stop? It's the best feeling. It becomes almost easy at that point, right? It's the same reason why you guys look at somebody like me, or you look at your favorite fitness influencer and you say, if I already had a six-pack, it would be easy to go in there and do some sit-ups and stuff because I'm already looking at this beautiful body in the mirror, but instead I don't, right? Instead I'm fat, right? Instead I don't have this six pack. Instead I don't have the arms that I want, right? So because I don't, I feel like shit when I'm in here because I really don't know if I'm working. My motivation is not here today, right? That's why I tell you guys, stop relying on motivation, all right? I'm a big don't rely on motivation guy. I used to be big on drive, right? I used to say drive is what's gonna get you there. You gotta have drive. But the truth is drive fades too, all right? When real life comes in and kicks your ass, drive is gonna fade, motivation is gonna fade. It's gonna be hard to stay consistent, which means it's gonna be hard to build momentum to get you to where you're going, all right? Once again, remember, momentum is the superpower. Momentum is the superpower that's gonna get us to the body that we want, that's gonna get us to the goals we want. So how do I develop the mindset that's gonna make sure that I see momentum, that's gonna make sure that I can be consistent without having to rely on motivation and drive if basically these things fade without any, they fade anyway. They're gonna fade anyway, right? Well, guys, you're probably thinking of one word, all right? The word you guys are probably thinking about is discipline, all right? And that word is how you're gonna do it, all right? But the truth is people look at this word discipline wrongly, all right? Discipline is, yes, it is the willpower of you being a man or woman to just say, no matter what happens, I'm gonna get this done. All right, but the truth is that if you're watching this video, you may not have that discipline to get this done. All right, so I'm gonna teach you how we ensure that your discipline is there. All right, the truth is that discipline does not have to be something that is this hard-nosed, manly thing all the time. That you have to be this military-minded, disciplined person to get anything done. No, it doesn't have to be. All right. But discipline does mean that no matter what happens, you do get it done, all right? But there's a caveat that we can work around it. And if you watch any of my content, you already know what I'm about to say. And if you don't, then congratulations, because I'm putting you on game to something that's gonna be able to help you to reach any of the goals that you're trying to reach in anything in your life for the rest of your life, all right? Just remember, J.O. Cut put you on this, all right? And that's it. If anybody asks you how you got the body you got, just send them this video, all right? Discipline. How can we make discipline easily obtainable for everything we want in life? Well, I'm gonna put you on this word. It's called structure, all right? So with structure, we build easy pathways to discipline, okay, which makes discipline and motivation, it doesn't matter. Motivation, drive, it don't matter if motivation and drive show up, right? Some days you're gonna feel motivated, everything's gonna be working like a well-oiled machine. Some days you're gonna not have motivation, it's still gonna be working like a well-oiled machine. But with structure, means we're gonna be automatically disciplined, which means we're gonna see momentum anyway, all right? Don't worry about my diagram, okay? Don't worry about this. What I need you to understand is building the correct structure to make sure that no matter what happens in your day, you get done what's supposed to get done, all right? So structure equals discipline, which equals consistency, which will then equal momentum, all right? Structure equals discipline, which then equals consistency, which then equals momentum, all right? If you have a daily structure, which is the same thing all of my clients, when they first come to me, I make sure they create a morning routine, all right, which is structure. Everything is structure. Everything is all about structure. It's all about what are your goals for yourself. Your morning routine has to reciprocate that, which means you're starting your day with wins towards the goals that you want created for yourself, which means that in due time, you're gonna have it inevitably progress towards those goals, right? But that doesn't happen without structure, right? Structure makes discipline easy, which makes consistency easy, which makes momentum easy, which then makes you reaching your goals easy, all right? Simple as that. I'm gonna say it one more time, all right? Structure makes discipline easy, which makes consistency easy, which then makes momentum easy. And once you have momentum, it becomes way easier to see progress for whatever your goals are, all right? It's as simple as that. Y'all boys have been with J.O. Cut today. I hope you guys can kind of understand the mental or the mindset that I teach my clients on how to reach their goals, on how to see whatever it is they want to see in their body when they look in the mirror, all right? This is how we reaching it. This is how we doing it. Structure, all right? The water method, all right? Training 3 to 5 times a week. Hybrid training approach, all right? Making sure that we're training the muscle for strength and hypertrophy, but also for functionality and explosion, all right? Explosive training is not just for athletes, all right? I'm a Division I linebacker myself, but explosive training is not just for athletes, all right? I want to give you guys an example. If you just go to the gym and you only train to be bigger, you only train to be stronger, eventually you're gonna be tight, and you're gonna be walking around like this, all right? It's the same waddle fat people walk with, but the only thing is you're fat with muscles. You're just fat with muscles. You're muscle fat, all right? You don't want that, all right? The most important thing as human beings that we want to do is we want to be functional. We want to be able to do and live our life pain-free, all right? We want to look good. We want to be able to look and be functional, all right? That's what you want, okay? So that's what we're doing here, all right? So for my guys watching this video, please take up, and if you're one of those guys who only train like a bodybuilder, please start changing how you train. All right, train to be dangerous, right? And being dangerous is being functional. It's being able to use the muscle you have for more than just doing this. Because I want to be honest with you, if you get in a fight and the only thing you can do is lift some muscle like this, you might be able to push somebody, but you're not going to be able to throw a lick hard enough to save your life. All right? And that's it. That's all I'm gonna leave you guys with. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is everything you need, all right? All the information you need to build an athletic and lean physique, all right? If you guys want any tips, any tricks on the actual training splits, the actual workouts that we're doing to reach athletic lean physiques over here at CFT Elite, please go follow J.O. Cut, all right? I'll write it down for you guys right here. Hold on. Oh, shit, sorry. At J.O. Cut, all right? That's J-A-Y-O-C-U-T at J.O. Cut, all right? It's been your boy, J.O. Cut. See you guys back with another video.